at me, take a picture, it'll last longer. The mirror on the wall say I'm getting stronger. Ayo, the mirror don't lie. Ayo, the mirror.
He beating up everybody in the neighborhood. I paid the kids, I said, if y'all can whoop Bud, I give y'all $10 a piece. Can I whoop?
You went out on the street.
Yeah.
What's now Bud Crawford Street.
Yeah.
You know, for $10, anyone can kick my son's butt.
Yeah.
And a lot of takers.
Yeah, the kids in the neighborhood. Can nobody whoop them?
Con Brover Defiant here, and this is my stance. This is the skyline of Las Vegas, Sin City. This is where we're going to have a lot of fights go down, but this is the one that I am looking forward to the most out of all the fights we've had here. And we've had a lot of historic fights here in Las Vegas, but I'm looking forward to this one the most. You know, this is like something almost personal that I can relate to here, where you have, my opinion, you got a dude who's man down, blue collar work ethic, done everything right, got good people in his life, and then you got on the flip side something a little bit different I don't agree with. It's polarizing. It's bigger than boxing. It kind of reminds me when people said that we don't sell. Also, you know, that we don't sell, we don't support, we're not good consumers, but that's not true. They've been doing studies on that since the 50s. So they know that we spend, and they know this is going to make a lot of money. But one of the reasons why it's polarizing to me is that you have two different men, you have two different ideologies here who are on a collision course, and they've been on that for a while. And it reminds me of Ali Frazier 1, where these guys didn't like each other. It was bigger than boxing. It was racial. It was political. There was a lot going on at the time. A lot of confusing things. People were on different sides of different topics, and it was just bigger. You know, and that's what this fight reminds me of. You know, I like to give my man perspective on, you know, man-themed topics. So it's not just fighting, you know. There's a lot of things going on with manhood besides beating each other up. You know, I've had things going on in my life, dating, marriage, work, stress, politics, being a black man in America, being a black father in America, you know, underrated, not a lot of attention. You have a lot of things against you. And you can't mess up because you're judged harshly, you know. And a lot of that comes into your upbringing, what brings me into the big part about the Terrence Crawford story here is I don't agree with it's just okay to admit you raised your son to be a bully. You know, in 2023, there's no way I could get away with that without some kind of backlash. I don't think a man could just say, oh, you know, I pay kids in the neighborhood to fight my boy, knowing my boy's going to beat them up, essentially making my kid the bully on the block. You know, it's something where I understand you don't want to have a kid be a punk, but 9 times out of 10, you're not going to get this undisputed junior welterweight son to be proud of. You know, it's not going to end up right. Over 9 times out of 10, that's not going to happen. Especially you grow up in the hood and you're paying other kids to get beat up by your boy. No. Most of the time, it's not going to end up good for you. It's not something to brag about. It's not something that I could get away with saying. And it has a lingering effect on your kid's mentality where they're going to be thinking emotionally rather than logically. And young black men, we can't get away with thinking emotionally. You know, you got to really always have your head screwed on tight, okay? Because you're going to get in jail, you're going to get shot, you're going to get killed most of the damn time, you know. And from what I'm hearing, that did already happen to Crawford. He got shot, you know, so it has a lingering effect. And I think it's also affecting the decisions that he's been doing up to this fight. You don't really see America try and de-escalate tension between father and sons, even when the son becomes successful. You know, you had this with Roy Jones and his dad, where Roy Jones blamed his dad for shooting the dog that bit his sister. And one of the first questions I had was, well, how bad did the dog attack the sister? You know what I'm saying? I mean, did the dog have to go? I mean, they do things a little bit differently down south when it comes to roosters and dogs. That's all I'm saying. So, you know, don't try to throw that Michael Vick morality at me. I'm just saying the dog bit the sister. You also have the issue with Floyd and his dad. You know, they used to argue on the lead up to fights, and you never saw anybody de-escalate. They would instigate. You got Joe Jackson, who was always viewed as this cruel, sadistic father. But like, all right, if he didn't do what he did by being, I guess, real strict, we wouldn't have the Jacksons. We wouldn't have any of this, you know. Now, like I said, there's a lingering effect to making a kid be a bully. You know, they don't know how to react when they get some adversity. They're like, oh shit, this one's hitting back. I don't know what to do. I'm used to, I hit you and you fall down now. So, you know, but it doesn't always end up like that. That's why you want to have your kid laced with character, not just menace. You know, it's all good until the dude who you thought you could bully is going to come straight at you. And I think that's what's going to happen on July 29th. You know, it looks like this guy asked for half, and Spence is the one giving all of the hardcore work ethic. You know, I wouldn't have given half if I got 3 belts and you got 1. But this is the same man who took on tough challenges after having a car accident he could have been killed in. You know, no tune-up fights. Even right now, I'm kind of worried that he's going to have issues making weight, but he seems to just get a thrill out of doing everything the hard way. And you don't see that often. Would I have seen that if he didn't have both parents in his life? I don't know. You know, this was the man who was knocked out toothless in the street. So, you know, he had to grit his teeth or his dentures and just own up to what he did. Because, you know, just because he had both parents doesn't mean he didn't make mistakes. He was drinking and driving, and I was disappointed for a while. Right after the Porter fight, you did something stupid, almost lost your life. But like he says, man down. So I think he might have Crawford in the corner. Crawford didn't seem like he wanted this fight. You know, I think maybe the bullies backed him to a situation where there's nowhere to go. So he has a lot of people in Omaha who I think maybe he wants to look good too. I'd have to say, you know, who is the one exhibiting the attributes of manhood in this case? I was worried that two black men couldn't come together in 2023 and show that we can go ahead and put on a good production, a good fight, a good show. And I don't think it wouldn't have happened if Spence hadn't have made this happen, you know, being humble and being disciplined. And now you got to do a coin flip to see who comes in last. I mean, that's ridiculous. Would Crawford have done this with Manny Pacquiao? I doubt it. I doubt it. But something about Spence, maybe because he's younger and he makes more. Maybe you got a little bit of that envy. You know, I just don't see this happening if it had been Crawford and Manny Pacquiao. You know, I don't think he thinks he could bully Manny Pacquiao, but for whatever reason, there's a little bit of, I'm not going to say it, but I don't know, a little bit of envy. You know, like I said, it ain't easy for black men to come together. Crawford tried this on his own with that bootleg BLK Prime, and, you know, the whole thing was janky. And then he has two gloves that get bigger and bigger, and then, you know, they blow up and pop. So now you don't really have a defining fight, and you're kind of hating you had to come back to this other black man, and now you got to have a coin flip, and it feels real petty. And again, I think it goes back to that bully mentality. So that's my perspective on it. This is Conbro with Defiant, and again, I made my stand.
There were days where we thought we wouldn't make it out, but we stuck it out. Today's our day. Today's our day. There were nights we would fight, no end in sight, nothing was right. Tonight's our night. Tonight's our night. I'll fight for you until this life is over. There's no giving